expressions. Okay, so here we go. We're going to have first a review about the future and the structures that we use for the future. You already know them, right? We are not going to see something new this time. It's just a review of what we have seen in previous classes. Okay, and there are some other expressions too that are related to the future that I would like to talk today. Okay. Very well. So we yesterday checked some vocabulary too from idioms. We're going to check some collocations now. Okay. I got it. Okay, very well. So let's see. We are going to check first these expressions that talk about the future. We're going to have a review about the future. Guys, there are 4 structures that we will review today. Okay, those structures or those future tenses.
Yummy. I was hungry.
Oh, that's my phone. I configured this thing, but I'm still not used to. Every time I charge the phone, it makes that sound. Okay, forget about it. Well, I was saying, yes, the future review. There are 4 structures that we will be learning, right, or reviewing. We have the future with will, future be going to, future with present continuous, and future with simple present. So that we're going to have a review of all of these. And first to start, we'd like to show you these expressions that are about the future. Okay, so we'll need your help. So we have here, it says looking forward. When you say looking forward, is like looking forward is like try to think about the future. Okay, looking forward es como ver hacia adelante. So okay, so here we have a couple of expressions. This one is e-commerce seems to be the shape of things to come. We have the shape of things to come. This expression means what is likely to be in the future. It's like when you say it's going to be very common in the future, right? So yes, this is like how things will be in the future. Like we could say es el futuro, right? E-commerce es el futuro, okay? To be the shape of things to come. Okay, entonces la expresión es esta, the shape of things to come. Can you please help me read, Heidi, the next sentence, and we have another idiom, please.
Yes, teacher. Use this room for the time being until your new office is ready. Sorry.
Excellent. So for the time being is temporarily, right? Just for now, right? For the time being. Es como hasta que. Okay, otra forma de decir hasta, right? Use this room for the time being until your new office is ready. Okay, so here we'd like to ask if Miguel could help us with the next one, please. The next sentence and the next expression.
We are on the threshold of exciting new developments in medicine.
Very well. So threshold. A threshold
Threshold.
is well, there's one expression in Spanish. There's like a definition. But well, we can say when you say threshold, it means like un umbral, right? So when you see this on the threshold, it means to the entrance. Estamos a la entrada de cosas, aquí dice cosas emocionantes en la, noticias emocionantes en la medicina, desarrollos en la medicina, right? So you see on the threshold of, it means that something is about to happen, algo está a punto de suceder, something important, on the threshold of. Please, Dante, help us with the next one.
Yes. The economy looks healthy in the short, medium, and long term.
Very well. So we say in the short term, medium term, or long term. Very well. Heidi, please, the next one.
Yes, teacher. It's only a matter of time before we start to colonize other planets.
Exactly. Very well. It's only a matter of time. Very well. Cuestión de tiempo. That's the meaning of this expression. Miguel, please, the next one.
I can't say if I like the job or not. It's early days yet.
Exactly. It's too soon. Todavía es muy pronto. Okay, excellent. The next one, please, Dante. Is the last one.
In the long run, you'll see it was the right decision.
When you say in the long run, it's like in the long term, sooner or later. We also have this expression, no está aquí, pero es como sooner or later. Tarde o temprano, sooner or later. So when you think about the future, what do you think are the shape of things to come? For example, I have been thinking that now everything in most services, they work a lot on online, right? For example, I remember that I was with a nutritionist on Zoom like 2 years ago, and she was a very good nutritionist. So she helped me lose a lot of weight, and I never saw her in person. It was everything online. Sometimes when you need to hire a professional, or even for these English classes, you see that everything is online. So, you know, from the pandemic on, I think that that's now hay una expresión en inglés que es the new orange, que es como se ha puesto de moda, the new orange. So from the pandemic on, now the new orange is like the online stuff. Now, many professionals will start giving their services from home instead of going to an actual place, right? So, I think this is the shape of things to come, because imagine, we need to be prepared. We don't know if in future years there will be another disease. I hope won't happen, right? But who knows if we will experience another pandemic? Will we be prepared to close the shops, to close everything again for a lockdown and get back to online? That's now, I think it's another thing that COVID taught us, that we are not prepared for pandemics, right? So now the shape of things to come is that people will have to adapt to situations where you know that diseases and pandemics will appear out of nowhere, right? Because sometimes it's like that, they come out of nowhere. Well, if we think that all this was an accident, right, and all of this was non-provoked, non-human provoked disease, but si las cosas son así, pues cualquier momento sale una pandemia y hay que estar preparados, right? So this is the shape of things to come, right? That we can, at any moment, and we have to be ready to be back at home working online. That's, I think, the shape of things to come. What other things do you think have changed in the last years and that now will become different in the future? So let's try to use this expression. What other things do you think will become the shape of things to come? We could think the artificial intelligence. Miguel, you want to say something?
Yes, teacher, the people will be use TI.
Exactly. Very well. The artificial intelligence. Very well. Good. Any other idea for you, the shape of things to come? Okay, let's jump this one. How about let's talk about on the threshold of. Remember, the threshold is like the beginning, the entrance, the door to exciting new developments. So when you say on the threshold of, for example, we could say we are on the threshold of a third world war, right? When this situation happened in Ukraine more than 1 year ago, we thought that this would be the threshold of the Third World War, right? So it is like the new World War is going to come. Do you think that we are on the threshold of a very dangerous war between United States, China, Russia, involving these countries? Do you think we are on the threshold of a new Pacific era? What do you think about today's, how life is becoming? What is your opinion about the actual events, the current events, and how they will develop in the future? How can we use this expression? Try to imagine, okay, what is happening today? So what will happen in the future? I don't know if you understood the expression on the threshold of. You are free to participate. Charge my computer. In the meantime, I'll let you think.
The cars will fly.
Sorry, say again.
The cars will
The
fly.
cars will fly. Okay. We're on the threshold of flying cars.
Okay.
We are on the threshold of some people say that, some doctors say that they're finding ways to make people young again. I need to confirm to verify the information, but I think that so far it's true because I think that serious newspapers published like the British CNN, and many said that now we are on the threshold of eternal youth. Eternal youth. Right? Eternal youth is like, you know what it is, right? And the way they do it is using blood from young ones and put it in old people. Yeah. So basically our blood transfusions from young people. And it's like, I think it's not very cheap, but many people who have a lot of money, they make this to look better. And they say it's helping. They made first experiments with rats, giving blood from young rats to older ones, and they improve. Let me see if I can find the article. Yes, guys, this is an article from the BBC. So it's like serious. It's like, this is real. And it's very expensive. Let me show you. It says the super rich. This is from BBC, okay? BBC is like, well, they are also very sensationalist, but they are serious. It says the super rich are injecting blood from teenagers to gain immortality. And they said that they look better, right? And let me see, it says it costs $8,000. It costs $8,000 each procedure. Yes, and it's successful. So super rich people are doing this. They are getting blood from younger ones. Yeah. Well, that could be creepy. That could be interesting. But what do you think? Do you think we are on the threshold of eternal youth? Do you think there will be one day when we won't die and we will not get sick? Do you think we are on the threshold of finding the eternal youth?
Teacher, can you repeat what means eternal youth?
Sí, como
Eternal
eterna.
juventud.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is the article from the BBC. So yes, the rich people receive blood from young teenagers to gain immortality. This man is 60 years, I think. He's 60. Well, he doesn't look like 60. Well, that's one of the things, right? So it helps you to create like things in your mind to talk about the future.
Teacher, I think if the teenagers they don't have a problem in the future, I think it's a good idea for eternal youth to
Mhm.
use their blood transfusions.
Yes, it's a very good idea because they have shown results, and the results say that it can help a lot. Like imagine having blood from young people. It says that even your hair starts growing. There are many myths too, but the truth is that there it is. It's something true. It's something that is happening right now. There must be a very old and rich man or woman getting blood and feeling better. They said that they feel better after the blood transfusion. Okay, so well, this is when we talk about the future. We have these other expressions. We'd like to read them for you. Other idioms. It says, he spends money like there's no tomorrow. Like there's no tomorrow, como si no hubiera mañana. And that is the expression, like there's no tomorrow. Let's do this like there's no tomorrow. Live life like there's no tomorrow. Okay. At the end of the day, you have to be a little selfish. When you say at the end of the day, it doesn't mean literally at the end of the day. At the end of the day is like you said, al final del día, pero no es al final del día, simplemente la expresión, right? You have to be a little selfish. It's like, it's important, right, to act a little bit selfish. Okay. The next one is the fact that he had been dead for a week in his apartment before anybody found him is a sign of the times. So you will use this as a sign of the times. Is use this expression when you want to say that society now is worse than in the past. When you say it's a sign of the times, it's like como las cosas se están poniendo peor, right? It's a sign of the times. Yeah. That's I think it's like it comes from the Bible, because in the Bible you have like when bad things happen, they say it's a sign of the times. It's like the end, right? The end is coming because, well, there are these and these signs. Okay, do you have questions about these expressions?
No, teacher. Thank you.
Good. So we'll continue then talking about these future tenses. So we had seen that we will have an activity of speaking. I just would like you to remember all the tenses: future will, be going to, etc. So do you remember how do we use will in future? How do we use will? ¿Cuándo se utiliza will?
For plans and predictions.
For predictions, exactly. But for plans, it's better to use be going to. Okay, so will is for predictions. Be going to is for plans. So if you say, for example, I will go to Spain. Okay, well, that sounds like something you want to do, but doesn't sound exactly like a plan, right? You want to do it, but it's not a plan. Okay. I will go to Spain. It's like one day. I don't know when, but I will go to Spain. So it means you haven't planned anything, right? Es como, yeah, it's something in the future, pero no has planeado nada cuando utilizas will. When you say, for example, Russia will probably surrender. Who knows? No one knows, but it's a possibility. So I use will. Be going to is for your plans in your life. You can use be going to, and you can use the present continuous. For example, when you say, I am going to France. So I'm going to France is a serious plan. When you say I'm going to France, you already have thought about it very well, and now you have the tickets, or you have you're planning your trip to France. Okay, so be going to is for plans. The same for present continuous, but it's when it's in the, it's just like very short to happen, very few days to happen, and it's for sure that you will do it. For example, you can say, I am, perdón, ya, I'm going to France, ya está en presente continuo, right? But you can also say, I am going to go to France. Ese sería con be going to. I am going to go to France. I usually don't say I am going to go because it's like repetitive, saying going to go. But the first one is the present continuous. I am going to France. This is like something that is for sure. I am going to go to France is like a plan. So both are plans. Be going to and present continuous. You can say, I am leaving tomorrow. Me voy mañana, right? So you're talking about a plan, something that is imminent to happen. When you say, I am going to leave tomorrow, it is different. I'm going to leave tomorrow is a plan, but it's not very, maybe you wouldn't even use tomorrow. Maybe I'm going to leave, let's say next month. Me iré el siguiente mes. Next month. Y si ya está más cercano, utilizaremos el presente continuo. For example, I am leaving tomorrow. Or I am leaving at 5. Something that you will do. Something that it's a plan, but is something that is imminent. Okay. So far, do you have any questions about will, be going to, or the present continuous?
No, teacher.
Okay, the simple present, you can also use simple present to talk about the future for timetable events, schedule events. For example, when you say, the train arrives, right now it's 8:50. So the train arrives at 6 p.m. Okay, so this is when you use the simple present, because you are well, you base this information on a timetable. So when we have scheduled events, for example, from the train station, from the bus station, from an event, for example, maybe a convention, and you have different programs. So whenever you have a program, whenever you have an itinerary, you will use the simple present for talking about future events. So I would like to work on the next activity with you, and then we will practice some speaking. All right. So here you have to choose the options that it shows you. Okay. And you will have to tell me why you choose this option. Okay. So let's read this. Heidi, could you help me read? Well, let's start read. Let's start reading from today to later, please.
Yes, teacher. Today is Aaron Lucas' first day at his dream jobs as a train driver and Penn Station in his destination. The train is leaving Boston at
Oh.
1.
What do you think, lives or is living?
Is leaving, I think.
Hmm. But in this case, we have a schedule.
Time space. Okay.
Yes.
Train
So
leaves.
leaves. Yes, when you have a timetable, it's like this context. The train leaves Boston at
Simple
1.
present.
It's simple present, exactly. And
Arrives.
exactly, arrives, we have arrives and isn't arriving. Okay,
About 4.
arrives about 4 hours later. Es como llega aproximadamente 4 horas después.
Thank you.
Okay, exactly.
Teacher,
Very
one
yes.
question. For to know if it is simple present or present continuous, we need to see if there are or there is a time expression of future.
If you want to know if you want to see if you comparing the simple present and other kinds of future is the schedule. Here we have a time. It says 1:40 and it arrives about 4 hours later. So these are future events that depend on a schedule. So when you have a schedule, when you have a timetable, so that means simple present in the future. You see the train leaves and it arrives 4 hours later. So that means that this is everything scheduled, is programmed, all right? And maybe tomorrow it will be the same. The train leaves at 1:40. And we will use, I don't know, could be the present, let's use, for example, present continuous. I am flying to, I don't know, San Francisco tomorrow. Okay. And this, in this case, well,
we are flying to San Francisco.
sorry?
Sorry, teacher, sorry.
Yes. Very well. So you say, I'm flying to San Francisco tomorrow. Well, this is also something that depends on a schedule, but it's a plan, right? It's a plan that you're fulfilling. Este es un plan tuyo que estás completando, right? And this depends on you taking the plane and flying to San Francisco. It depends on you. In this case, the train arriving at the station doesn't depend on you. Aquí, si el tren llega a la estación, no depende de ti, right? Depende de un horario que ya está fijo. So when we have a schedule, when we have a timetable, we use the simple present. This can be for the bus, for the train, for the plane, even everything that is about the schedule uses the simple present.
Okay, teacher.
Yes.
What means timetable?
Timetable is horario también. Timetable is like, for example, the ones in the plane, como los del avión en el aeropuerto, right? Timetable. Esta pantalla, ese es el timetable.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, very well. So yes, that's why we we use the simple present. Leaves, arrives. Miguel, could you please continue helping us? Let's read from next week, please.
Yes, teacher. Next week, we is going to drive forward. from Boston to Chicago. It's a long trip. It will take about 23 hours. The good news is that he doesn't travel alone.
Okay. What do you think? Does this depend on a timetable
The good news is that
or it's a plan?
I choose doesn't travel because the sentence say he. The good news is that he
Mhm.
doesn't travel alone. correct.
Alone, solo, right?
Yes, it's correct, doesn't travel.
In this case, you will use doesn't travel if it's something based on a schedule or a timetable. Aquí no tenemos un horario como en el caso del tren. So isn't traveling alone. Él no viajará solo. Right? And the good news is that he isn't traveling alone.
Okay.
Okay. Very well. It will take about 23 hours. The good news is that he isn't traveling alone. His family.
Family makes the trip to Chicago too.
Okay, but it's the same question. Is this a plan or a schedule, a timetable?
It's a plan.
Exactly. So present continuous.
His family,
His family is making the trip to Chicago too. Su familia también viajará a Chicago.
Okay, teacher.
Very well. Very well. We'll check anyway. Very well. Any questions about these sentences? Is it clear when to use the simple present? When not to use the present continuous?
When our plans, we use present continuous. Is correct?
Yes, it's correct. Present continuous or be going to.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Very well. And when it's a prediction, you use will. If it's a timetable event, if it's something based on a schedule, you use a simple present. So here now we have a conversation. So let's now talk about the future. It says, use will for predictions. Talk about your future plans for the future plans below. How sure are you? Use will for predictions. Use be going to. The present continuous or the simple present for planned events. Okay, so I would like to ask you, do you have any plans for tomorrow? For example, tomorrow, probably, right? I'm going to the gym. Probably tomorrow I'm going to the gym. You could also say, I'm going to go to the gym. Here, I prefer not to use will because this is a plan, right? I'm going to the gym. Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Yes, teacher. Tomorrow we will go. We will go to church
To the church. Okay.
because we will be. How do you say padrinos?
You say we can say godparents. You have godmother, sería madrina, godmother, godfather.
Godparents.
So the godparents, yes. Okay, very well. Well, congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And do you have any plans for the next week?
Yes. I'll ask my God.
Yes.
Para el próximo fin de semana.
Next week? What are your plans for next
Ajá.
We are going to go to a party of my sister-in-law. It's her birthday.
Excellent. Do you have any plans for next year? Any plans for the next year?
Not teacher.
No? Okay, good.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, I hope you achieve all your goals. And do you have any plans, like future plans that you're like, well, we would like to achieve this in 5 years, in 10 years? Do you have any plans and very long term?
We want to travel around the world in 5 or 10 years.
Okay, what country would you like to visit first?
Paris,
Paris, okay, you will start with Paris. What other country?
London,
Okay, City of London, good. Like, we would say the mainstream Europe, right? You would like Paris, London, Rome, these cities, right?
yes.
Yeah,
Brujas. I don't know how is in English, Brujas.
Aha is brew. I will lie to you. Don't remember brew. It's weird because yes, in Spanish is brujas, but in English is not witches. It's in Belgium, it's in Belgica, right?
Yes. It's in Holland?
It's brooches. So this in English. Brooches in Belgium. It's like one of the most beautiful of Europe, right?
Yes.
Yes, there it is. I'm sharing my screen, but Jesse's brooches in Belgium.
Yes.
The cheapest flights to Belgium are through TUI.
Do you know, teacher?
No, I know Brussels. It's
Okay.
not, honestly, not very beautiful. Well, at least the places we visited, but no, I have never been to Bruges. Yes, but I would like to go. Looks beautiful and picturesque.
Yes.
Okay, very well. So we will watch the next video. It's a solution to the e-waste. You know, waste is like trash. So what happens to all the computers, to all the cell phones after you don't need them anymore? They go to trash, but what happens to that trash? In this video, you found out like some solution to this e-waste. Check the expressions we have with the future.
What a waste. What happens to the things we throw away? Even small items like pens are a problem. We use billions of them each year. That means thousands of kilos of trash from pens alone. And then there's paper. How many trees are cut down to make all the paper we use and so often throw away?
Okay, I'll make you a copy. 20 copies? Okay.
But there's a new kind of waste that's different from all of the traditional kinds of trash. E-waste. Scientist Bill Nye asked some people to define it.
What is e-waste?
Waste electricity that's wasted.
E-waste? Ecological waste or something?
Do you know what e-waste is?
Oh, maybe it's the economic waste, maybe like from the economy.
Well, E seems to be put in front of everything involving the internet.
Environmental waste?
No, the E in e-waste is for electronics. We generate over 2 million tons of electronic waste each year. Americans alone throw away 426,000 cell phones just in one day. Very often, e-waste is dumped into landfill sites, where its dangerous metals create pollution. And to make just one computer screen, we use 200 kilos of oil, 20 kilos of dangerous chemicals, and 1,500 liters of water. So what do we do about it? We can repair our computers or give them to a school. If that isn't possible, there are also companies that recycle e-waste. They make the metals and plastic reusable. They can also recondition cell phones for new owners. A reconditioned phone is much cheaper than a brand new one. So, how will e-waste affect our environment? We can only keep it. How will e-waste affect our environment?
Okay, so here the question, how will e-waste affect our environment? Is not a good idea to use be going to, right? Here you're talking about a prediction, something you are not sure, right? We have some idea what happens to the trash and how it affects the earth, but here they're talking about more consequences because of all those chemicals that we use to build our devices. So you see, we're using here these wheel for predictions.
Environment. We can only keep it green if we take the proper steps. No, the E often throw away.
Okay.
Here, that means thousands of kilos of
Here in this
trash
part,
from pens alone. Trees are cut down to make all the paper we use and so often throw away.
Okay, I'll make you a copy.
here he's using will. When he says, okay, I'll make you a copy. So he starts printing copies, right? Why do you think we're using will in this sentence?
It's future.
Very well. Is the future. Is the future will. And you use it when you have a spontaneous decision. So in this case, you don't say, I am going to make a copy, because this is a spontaneous decision, something that you decide at the moment of speaking. So whenever you have a situation, you decide at the moment, you use will too. For example, if you say, you see someone needing help, ves a alguien que necesita ayuda, te ayudaré, I will help you. because you hadn't planned it. This was spontaneous. Okay, so all the spontaneous decisions in English, we
of
use
them
will
each year.
instead of be going to or the present.
On computer screen, we use two.
All right. So, did you know about e-waste? Many people who were interviewed didn't know, right, what it was. Okay, so just please help me complete here this activity in number 7. And this would be for your homework, okay, the page 25, exercise 7. There it is. I will take a screenshot too, so you can work on it. And you can practice. What you have to do is to complete the sentences with the structure, the grammar structure that they tell you. Okay. So the end, Miguel and Heidi, and
¿Se cortó? Sure. I can listen.
your homework, I send you to the WhatsApp, is the exercise 7. You have to complete with the tenses that they indicate. You have be going to, will, simple present, and present continuous. So you complete the sentences with these tenses. I send you the page where you can start working. And well, so thank you for staying until the end. Take care and see you tomorrow.
See you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.